I don't. I just make a world without gods. I don't know.
Okay. I'm not attacking you. I'm just
I'm
picking your
I
brain.
understand. I'm just like, I'm trying to think of how I do it, and I just
do it.
I just do, because I was not raised religious. I never even thought about it. It wasn't anything important in my family, so I just don't know anything other than that, you know?
So it's just not even a
See,
thought that comes into your
it's
head
not
when you
even a
start.
thought that comes to my head. I would have a hard time creating a world centered around religion and gods. I don't think I would be able to do it. That's why I don't do it in my games.
Interesting. No cool. We're just jumping into it, okay? Welcome back to Beyond the Tavern Wall. Today, everyone. I don't know. I feel so odd not doing a cold open right now. I'm going to be honest. I was trying to think of one and I could not figure it out, guys. I really was, and now I feel awkward that I just opened it up with Welcome to Beyond the Tavern Wall, and I did not know where to go after that, so I'm rambling. I'm Braden Figgins. I am one of your hosts here on the podcast, and I am joined by the fantastic, phenomenal, fabulous, royal. We'll even go there. We're gonna go back to adjectives today. Kendall, Haley, Hunter, and Sam. Guys, we have a episode for you. And I'm pretty sure all 5 of us here are stoked to talk about it because it's one that plays heavy into our personal campaign that's going on, and probably plays heavy into everyone's campaign who plays D&D. So, are we excited to talk about this today, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to guess what we're talking about?
Is it something D&D related?
No, actually.
No way.
We're going to be talking about... Can someone divine what we're talking about? We're going to talk about Gods and Prophecy, okay? See how good I am? Look at that. Look at that rolling right there, okay? So we're talking about the role of gods, the role of prophecy in a campaign, and our opinions and thoughts about them, because that's what we do on a discussion podcast, is we have opinions and thoughts and we share them, even if they're wrong and you take them back 3 months later.
DM's favorite tools for the DM's favorite players.
I'm going to go fast to you with that, Sam. Why do you think that?
It's for the clerics and the paladins, the DM's favorite characters and players, because there's so much roleplay potential. Especially for those DMs that hate combat.
I will also say warlocks. I think we need to include patrons in the idea. Maybe instead of gods, we just talk about deities.
Can I have
general,
the
greater
fastest
deities
of side notes?
Yeah.
I thought of a new character, and it's a bellhop. It's a doorman for a fancy hotel. He's a warlock, and his patron is the owner of the hotel.
Interesting.
I thought that would be fun.
Pact of the job application.
He's always scared of being fired and losing his powers.
Path of the lobby.
Path of the lobby.
Wrong, but isn't that just the plot for Grand Budapest Hotel?
I haven't seen it.
We talked about
so I'm not sure.
You're not wrong.
We talked about inspiration 2 weeks ago, so makes sense. Inspired by it. But let's jump into the role of gods in a D&D campaign in general. How we'll go to the outline in a second. I want to ask, what is your guys' opinions on deity in campaigns?
Oh, they're fun little tricksy, naughty people to deal with. Ailey missed out on some fun conversation on Monday.
Oh, it's
We'll
probably
catch you up
best that I
on the
wasn't
break.
there, actually.
I had plans for you too, so you weren't there, so you missed some
No,
plans.
Don't say that.
I can help. Don't worry, you're fine. You got other important things to do. So
Yeah.
and everything was good. Nothing went wrong last session, surprisingly.
I
You guys
don't
didn't
think
blow up the city, so
Well, bare minimum, okay.
yeah. I actually think, and this is coming from the DM who uses gods a lot. Gods are overused.
Really?
What?
I think, as I've thought about it, I think gods are totally a DM scapegoat. So that me as a DM, I can be like, oh, I don't like what's going on. I'm going to send a god down and I'm going to kill your character. Or I'm going to stop this. And, oh, you have to listen to the gods. You guys kind of change.
That gods are a railroad machine?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 100%.
Sorry. They are definitely there to help move the plot along.
Mm-hmm.
But-
I think gods are great. I think they're a great tool for a DM to kind of keep the plot moving. I think they are too much of a safe fallback for that to happen. And that is coming from a guy who's created a whole campaign that is based around gods. But if you recall from last session, we can kind of quickly for our listeners. It might be listeners, let us know in the comments if you want us to do like a recap of our sessions of like our whole campaign ever, or something so that we can kind of catch you guys up on. Because we talk about our sessions a lot, and it might be a little confusing for you listeners not knowing what's going on. So what happened last session is, I'll say the session before they met a god. The god was like, "Hey, you need to do this, or the world will be destroyed because this other creator god, the creator god, is back." The party was like, "What do we get out of this?" And the god was like, "Your world doesn't get destroyed. That's what you should get out of it." And there was a whole argument about that because this group is stubborn in a good way. Because I actually think the way you guys did it, most of the group, Hunter's character Strider and Riley's character Faces, were good. But everyone else was kind of like, we've been through hell, literally and figuratively. We deserve something for doing this. Like, I'm not like, we'll do it no matter what, basically, because like we don't want the world to be destroyed. But this. So last session, what happened is the goddess Mistra, she went to Hester, who was one of the ones who was like, "Hey, like we want something out of this," and she played all nice, like, "Hey, I'm sorry and all this. I'm going to help you find your friend." Then she went to Hunter's character Strider, and was like, "I'm glad you're the only one. You're the one who isn't like sensible among the group."
Yeah,
Playing
it was
into
funny.
him. It was literally one after each other. It was great. So, and I like Kendall's reaction. She's like, "That bee." She didn't first. She's like, "That bee."
I was just like manipulative.
Yeah, it was great. So like, but one thing that I think was important to learn was when Bass was talking to another goddess, Saloon, who was just like, gods aren't. She was like, "I'm not omnipotent. I'm not everywhere at once. Like that's why we have domains, because our domains are everywhere, but I'm not." And I think that's the best way to play a god. Is not a god who is everywhere, omnipresent, omnipotent, and all that, but a god that has faults and there's fallacies, there's faults, there's
Flaws.
things. What do you say? Flaws. That's a word.
Flaws.
Not fallacies, flaws, but things that make them human. A god should be able to die and not just be like, "Oh, I'm forever strong." I think a god should be able to die, and they should just be another NPC. And that's why I feel like a lot of times when I was first doing D&D, I made them these all powerful, all knowing beings. I don't like that anymore. So that's where I come from. That's my opinion, and you have to agree with it, Hunter, even though you're going side to side with your head.
Things I don't have to.
I actually, because and that's kind of showing up in a lot of the other worlds. If anyone wants to just cut in, please, because I've talked a lot at this point. In the world of Pelilethios that we talked about a little bit, the gods are present, like they are these divine beings, but there was a whole like mass deicide where the gods fought each other and killed. In the world of Hazard, there's only one god. And what's another world? Yeah, there's a few different things. Like there are gods, but they all kind of have that one thing. There's not like always one simple thing. Divinity is a big thing when it comes to my world, so I've thought about it through it a lot.
So I somewhat agree and disagree with your argument. I do believe that gods should be capable of being killed. I do believe that it should be nearly impossible, if not only other gods can kill other gods. That's just my opinion, though.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think that, sorry, go ahead. Sandy.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I've talked a lot.
thinking.
Yeah, and please butt in if when you can. I've talked a lot, and I'm gonna throw answer that point, Hunter. I don't think that's a problem at all. I don't think it's a bad thing if that's what you believe. I don't agree with it. I think a god should be able to die if you have the right weapon, if you have the right thing, like or right spell. Like if you have a god killer weapon,
Yeah.
a mortal should be
I
able to
could
like.
get behind that.
Maybe there has to be a higher tier of stuff. I will say for like, maybe not. I agree with you. I don't necessarily think it's a specific like a god needs to be the one to kill a god, but something on the same tier of a god has to be one to kill him.
Yeah. I guess that's
Mhm.
kind of more along the lines of what I was saying. But
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Brayden, I'm going to agree with you a little bit. I was thinking about it while you were talking, and I realized that if my players don't add a god into their backstory or say that they worship a certain god, I don't put them in my campaign at all.
You don't put a
Because-
gods or your character.
Nope.
You're like,
I don't
I don't
put
even put the
gods.
character. Character's not even there.
Manipulate you?
Interesting. Why is that?
Because I'm not a religious person in real life, so I just don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
See,
If
that's
they ever
interesting.
bring it up, I'll let them add it later on and I'll work it into the story. But if it's never brought up, I never do it.
That's interesting to think of because I can only speak for myself, but as a religious person myself and you not being religious, to me, I'm always thinking about divinity,
Mhm.
right? And then to you, I feel like this would be something that, like you said, is you only think of when it's brought up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Whenever I create a world, and I'm a religious person as well. So gods are like on the top of my list because in my like divinity and the like deity are just like the first things I not the first things, but some of the first things I create. I go through and I'm like, okay, if we're gonna have a cleric, I want them to have a list of gods that would be in the world. There was this, and I think that's because one time, one of my players was playing a cleric and was like, I'm gonna worship this Celtic god, and I'm like, that they don't exist in my world though. So I've kind of had to be like, okay, if you're ever gonna worship a god, I need to have a list so that people can have a divine worship source of being. But I'm also now I'm like at the same time kind of with you. It's like, okay, I have a world. Hazard has one god. Is every cleric just gonna worship or be blessed by the same god? And so I'm over here is like, how would different domains work for a cleric if there's only one god? I'm like, maybe it's more of just from the worship of something specific. Like,
Mhm.
oh, you're a tempest domain. Okay, you worship storms and you get your divine power through the storms or whatever it may be. So
That's usually what
Mhm.
I do.
So nature is the
Mhm.
source of divinity in your usual
Yeah.
practices. Okay, cool.
would you say it's nature or would you say it's just inherent worship of something?
Honestly, I think it would be nature because I was thinking back. I had a cleric that was, I think they were life domain, and she would just always pray to like healing properties of plants and stuff, like the different things in nature you could use.
She worshipped doTERRA?
Oh my gosh.
We're
The
gonna
goddess
get sued.
doTERRA?
No. It was essential oils.
Ah, you're right. My bad. Shoot.
Name brand. We have
It
no
was-
terror at home.
We have. No, okay, that's interesting. A lot of my worship is more. I'm gonna go put my baby's binky back in. Continue on, guys.
Okay.
Right. So how do we feel like gods actually kind of shape the world? We've talked a little bit about including gods in our world. How do they go on to create a world?
I believe that, at least in D&D, gods are only as powerful as their following. So
Yeah.
the gods would shape the world by the more powerful gods having more followers,
Okay.
maybe
So
more
by
factions for you to come across.
What
by
is that?
extension, go ahead, Haley.
That fish race where if they believe in something enough that it becomes a
Oh.
god. What is that
Isn't it
called?
the Koatoa or something like
I
that?
thought you were talking about the
Okay.
orcs from 40K for a second there.
Oh yeah,
God.
they had that rule too.
Oh,
No, but yeah, that's actually pretty much what I was gonna ask is, do you think that if a mortal creature gained enough followers and they began to worship them, do you think that could elevate them to the point of divinity?
well, that's kind of what's happening to Bast right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
Because we
And maybe
haven't,
that's how you kill a god. Disrupt her following.
or just replace them.
I mean, that's the hard way.
Mm.
They're going to directly intervene.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't seen it physically in the campaign yet. We've just heard of it going down like that. But yeah, I agree with the following thing, but also as a cheesy I like happy endings person. To me, I think it would also depend on what their domain is. Because if your domain is death, murder, and debauchery,
You
in
always
my
win.
in my heart, I really don't want you to win. Even if everybody is worshiping you, you know? To me, in my heart, I hope that the person that has like 12 people following them and is all about love and light and hope is gonna win out at the end of the day. But yeah, it's just me.
Kendall, you strike me as a person who can never do like evil playthroughs in like video games or anything.
Now let me tell you
The
about my
dialogue
wife.
is too mean.
My
It
wife
is.
started a Dark Urge playthrough.
I
Oh
did.
no.
Listen,
How far did you actually get with that?
I'm not finished with it yet because you can fix Dark Urge, and I'm fixing Dark Urge, okay?
No,
After
Kendall,
you-
you're
after you
supposed
do
to lean
so much
fully
wrong.
into it.
No.
Kendall's incapable of being evil. We've
Do you
learned
guys-
this.
Do you guys want to hear a funny story about how I've been the same person since I was a kid? I came out the womb this way. So you guys know that game, The Simpsons Hit or Run?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just give
Classic.
people rides?
I gave people rides and I stopped at stop signs and I went the speed
You
limit.
obey traffic laws.
Goodness.
Kendall.
My brothers hated it when I played that game. Because they would always be like, Kendall, you need to go, you need to go.
But the light is
Goodness.
red.
The light's red, guys! Yeah,
Oh, Kendall, you're so sweet.
thank you.
So, getting back on topic though, unless you ever
What do you mean?
do
Simpsons Hit and Run is off topic?
That game is my deity. Anyway, keep going, Hunter.
Homer Simpson as a deity would be crazy.
Gosh.
So how can a DM use gods then to kind of shape the culture of a world? I mean, everyday life, what happens when a god is that prominent of a figure?
Maybe your party enters a city that has religious law.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of plenty of campaigns that it is Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon. It is like that is the sole deity here. We will
That
not
guy's
tolerate
chill.
worshiping anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, and depending on the domain and the god, that determines the priorities and the customs, right? Like, I don't know
Mhm.
why, but I thought of the mud monster from Spirited Away.
Aw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, I just thought of, like, what a...
Oh, you can't see.
Right!
Are you talking about the river spirit? The dragon?
No!
No.
Not the river
It-
spirit. The No Face, I think is his name.
No, it's not No Face.
Yeah, the
It's
one where
the-
they keep feeding him.
Oh,
Oh,
that
yeah, that's
one?
No Face. That's not the
yeah,
mud
that's
monster.
No Face.
Yeah,
the Mud
well,
Monster is a different one.
I got them mixed up. I apologize. But
Yeah, the mud
No
monster ends up
Face.
being a river spirit.
Yeah.
And
It
quite
is.
a famous one, too.
hmm But what I'm saying is an example of like a greedy god would be like that, right? of you keep feeding me, you keep giving me tribute, you keep giving me sacrifices, I'll give you a little bit of gold, and
And I won't
maybe
kill you.
and I won't kill you, and then maybe one day you'll get 2 gold pieces.
Ooh, 2.
And then just with that entire bathhouse was thrown on its head, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody gave everything up. No other guests mattered. It was just all about this one guest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what my point was.
No, you're talking about religious law in kind of that sense.
Yeah.
Again, since they worshipped the mud monster, so everything was built around the mud monster.
Yeah.
I understood. Yeah. I actually
Not the mud
hate
monster.
mud
We're getting
monster.
that character mixed up, and it's making me sad.
His
Yeah,
name's
same.
Clayface, right?
As the river
No,
spirits, as the river spirits PR, I would like you to rescind what you just said and say no
You
face.
called the river spirit a mud monster. You don't get to be
That
his
was an
PR rep.
honest mistake.
Isn't No Face the thing that just eats people?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
talking about.
Oh,
I
why
accidentally
did you
said
call
mud
him
monster. It was an accident.
Okay, now I understand where we're at. I actually want to ask Haley this question, being a non-religious person in real life. Religion has played is in culture and society, on Earth is huge. Like you think of European history, you can't not have European history without without Catholicism. You can't have
the
a
3
lot
Gs.
of Middle East history without Islam.
Mhm.
Obviously, there is stuff that isn't all that, but at least what we learn in the U.S., it's Catholicism, it's Islam, it's a lot of religion. How do you build a world if you don't consider like religion or the gods?
I just looked up a stat. Close to 85% of the world population is religious in some way or another.
Yeah. So and I'm curious as how that would work for you then.
I just make a world without gods. I don't know.
Okay. I'm not attacking you. I'm just
I'm
picking your brain.
I understand. I'm just I'm trying to think of how I do it, and I just
do it.
I just do, because I was not raised religious. I never even thought about it. It wasn't anything important in my family, so I just don't know anything other than that,
So it's just not even a thought that comes into your head.
It's not
when
even
you
a
start.
thought that comes to my head. I would have a hard time creating a world centered around religion and gods. I don't think I would be able to do it. That's why I don't do it in my games.
Interesting.
But she was raised around nature, right? Because you were raised on a farm.
Yeah.
And so
Worship a
what
pig god.
if any semblance of fate or divinity, she's probably going to use nature because that's what she knows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's not to say
no,
and that's not to
understand you.
And that's not to say it, because in your worlds, that in that instance, the deity is nature.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what it is. Like deities do not necessarily have to be actual beings. They are just things. Deity is things that are worshipped heavily. And culture has kind of been made around and all that stuff. I feel like a lot of times we're over here like, oh yes, deity equals God.
Yeah.
Actual being and all that stuff, which isn't a problem. It's really cool, and it's honestly very unique to have things where it's like, oh, deity is nature. It's not a physical being, but just something that is, So in worlds, and maybe we can even go books and stuff, do you guys see a lot of gods as myths, or do you see more as prominent figures? Which ones do you prefer, or what have you seen and liked more?
Well, it's funny because I know a lot of us have read the Percy Jackson books.
Yeah.
They're pretty prominent figures there.
I would say the closest thing, if you've never played D&D and want to know what the D&D gods are usually like, I would say it's the same dynamic as in Percy Jackson.
That's pretty good.
They're hardly ever there, but when you see them, you're kind of like, oh, this guy kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But you can also be like, they could do stuff.
They can.
They
just don't care.
They just are like, we'll have our demigods go do it. We'll have
They're
adventurers, random people go do it.
Yup.
Yeah, and they're worried about whether or not Athena is going to apologize for that thing she said 200 years ago.
Oh gosh.
And she's going to give them a silent treatment until she apologizes.
Their gods are human.
Mhm.
Human with an infinite lifespan and all the time in the world.
Yeah,
I like that.
I don't know if this is a good spot to talk about this on the outline.
It's good, Polden. It's your thought.
Okay, well, so I like when I am creating, I do like the idea of deities who, like, if you are given immortality and you are given that much power, you are still human, but you are frozen in the human that you were before it happened, right? So, for example, I was just saying, like, somebody holding a grudge for that long. It's kind of like the thing with the Captain America serum. Like, it elevates the best parts of you, but then also, like,
Enhances what you already
Enhan-
have.
yeah, enhances what you already have. So if you're already a petty person and you become a god, you're not going to talk to somebody for 500 years.
You'd be extra
Yeah.
petty.
Yeah.
Do you
Mhm.
think if like total off topic, but do you think if like someone was just hangry when they got the super soldier serum, they're just hangry for forever now?
Yeah, that would suck.
No,
No, it's based
wrong,
off of
actually.
their character.
Oh.
It is
Nerd.
canonical that Steve Rogers went in on an empty stomach because he was not allowed to eat or drink before the procedure.
That was, I mean, same with my surgery, and I was hangry. And I've been hangry ever since.
Were
That's
you
terrible.
hangry
That's
before?
just the way you are now.
Yes,
Sorry,
I couldn't
bud.
eat. I couldn't eat anything, Sam. It hurt.
No, I
So
mean
yes.
like months and years before. Have you just always been hangry?
Months and
He
years before. Yeah,
absolutely
I'm always
has.
hangry. Yes.
There you go. That's my secret.
That's
Cap.
my secret. Yes, that's my secret.
I'm
I'm
always
always hangry.
Oh gosh, Hulk would, but he's a living reactor.
He is. So something that goes along with deity is prophecy. And I'm excited for this part. I've talked about prophecy a lot, so I'm excited to be able to talk about prophecy deeper because I have some huge thoughts on this. Do you guys like using prophecies in your campaigns, or
I
if
love
you have
it.
thing as a book? Why, Haley?
It just adds motivation and like theme and atmosphere to your game. I just think they're fun. And when you give your players a prophecy, they're usually going to be a little more into the game because there's that foreshadowing of what's going to happen in the campaign.
It gives your group a why, almost.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
It's another tool for the DM. Maybe not as railroady as a god can be, but it is the tool for the DM to set up the story.
Mhm.
And another thing I like about prophecies is if you write them correctly, you can change it throughout the campaign.
How so?
Make it vague.
Make it
Oh,
vague.
okay. There you
Give
go.
multiple meanings to certain phrases in your prophecy. Or you could, I've done this a couple times where they only get parts of the prophecy, and throughout the adventure, they end up finding more pieces of it.
If man finds mountain, mountain go boom. My
Yes.
prophecy.
That's the prophecy. Everyone's
Very vague.
cowering in
What
the
mountain?
valleys
What
'cause they're
man?
too
Is it
scared to
saying
go to the mountains.
Is it specifically saying a man, or is it talking about mankind? What mountain are they talking? You don't know. Completely vague.
Gosh, it reminds me. I can't remember what this freaking stupid clip was, but it was like this person of an unspecified background, of an unspecified culture, will come and do this unspecified thing at this unspecified point in time. And that was the whole prophecy. And it was like, wow,
That's a perfect
Great.
prophecy.
Mhm.
That's very, very vague, and that's great. I think prophecies are fun. I'm gonna bring up the Wheel of Time again, and it is a 13 series book. It's long, and sometimes you're just like, this book didn't have to happen, but also it's just good overall. I love how they do the Wheel of Time prophecy because the whole point of it is that so many people are like, oh, I'm this guy. and then they go and do it and they fail, and then they go and do it and they fail, and they like they're not the person, even though they called themselves the person. And when the person comes out and is like actually doing the things in the prophecy, people don't believe him. They don't believe him.
Yeah,
They're
because
just
they're
like,
so
This is
fatigued.
also the plot of Spy Kids 3D.
Oh
my
no!
I will
As
say
if it
Wheel of
was
Time
written.
came out way before Spy Kids 3D. Probably like a decade and a half before.
Well,
Spy
I've
Kids
only
3D,
seen Spy
so.
Kids 3D, so I don't know what to tell you.
I'm the
So we're gonna-
guy.
I'm gonna circle back real quick. You did say 14 series book, and I just
14
wanted to
book
make fun of you
series.
for it.
I
There
don't
you go.
care.
Okay.
Wheel
14
of
book
Time.
series.
More like time commitment. Hey!
Got
Sorry, I'm really
him.
How
proud
many
of
I think
books
I
is it?
think that's the. If I had a nickel for every time Kendall's made that joke on this podcast,
You would have
I'd
two
have
nickels.
2 nickels,
Which isn't
which isn't a
but
lot,
weird
but
that
it's crazy
happened
that's
twice.
happened
Weird that
twice.
it's happened
Someone reminds me how many books there are in that series.
There's 14 series of
14.
books.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He
13 or 14 books.
series?
No, it's 14 books.
Oh,
was
okay.
making fun of himself
Yeah.
because he said series
Yeah.
earlier.
Uh,
But I think that's such a interesting way of just doing it, because a lot of times you see like, oh, this person's fulfilling the prophecy, and they're like, oh, everyone now believes them. It makes sense. Oh yeah, this person's doing prophecy. I'm gonna go follow them immediately. In Wheel of Time, it's like this person's fulfilling the prophecy, but people are still like, man, that's not. He's not the prophesied one. He's not the prophesied one, and he literally like has to force himself. He'll be like, oh, so this is the next step in the prophecy, I guess, and he does the next step. So it's in a sense like anyone could have done it, but he's just the one who was able to do it and do everything that it said.
so we're in a little bit of a book club for our audio listeners. We have a little book club going on, which I'm pissed though we still haven't met for our most recent book, which is what I'm about to bring up. How many of you guys finished Malice or read it?
I've not started it yet. I still need to read it.
Yeah,
Ayla?
same.
It was a
Ouch.
rough April, okay, man.
Hey,
it's almost like I had a kid.
Ouch.
Planning a wedding and an international trip. I'm doing my best.
I've been eating a lot of peaches. You got to give me some time.
I worked so hard to catch up. I worked so hard.
I'm still gonna read it.
Oh, now I can't. Now I'm not going to say anything about it because there is some prophecy elements in Malice that I was going to bring up, but
Bring it up.
now it's sad. No, I'm not spoiling the book.
I'll take our headphones off.
Yeah,
All of
just talk
us.
to the
And you'll
audience.
just talk to
Spoil
the
it for
audience.
for the audience.
I
No,
don't thoroughly edit this stuff, so
Okay, fine. How about this? Harry Potter.
Mhm.
There were
Good
two
example.
potential candidates for the prophecy: Neville Longbottom and Harry Potter.
Mhm.
Voldemort basically went and chose which one of them was going to be the part of the prophecy.
Neville was actually. I've not finished the books. I didn't realize that.
Oh, spoilers! Yeah, so
I don't
If
care.
that's not a spoiler, it's been out way
Yeah.
too long.
It's too
Mhm.
long. Yeah.
Neville has
So-
depth in those books. They did
Oh,
him
yes.
so
love
dirty in the
Neville.
movies.
Neville's so good.
No, but Neville very much so. He met the exact requirements for the prophecy,
Mhm.
and Voldemort just said, I'm gonna go after this kid."
That's
So-
not technically true.
Ouch!
I'm sorry.
How is it not technically true? I'm curious
Because
Did I
he
miss
was
something?
like, Bellatrix, you go take care of this kid. I'm gonna take care of this kid.
That is true. Didn't that happen after Voldemort died?
I don't know. No.
I thought it did.
I
I don't know.
remember
I can't
Bellatrix
remember.
tortured. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, Bellatrix tortured both of his parents until they basically could not remember who they are and do much.
Oh, okay.
Put them into Saint Mungo's.
Mm-hmm.
Saint Mangoes?
It's Mungo.
Oh,
I don't know about
no,
you.
you were right. You were right. To find out, okay, to find out where Lord Voldemort was after his initial downfall, because she didn't believe that he was gone.
Okay.
Because they were
It's
powerful.
a lot of books.
Aurors.
It's a lot of stuff to try to remember.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, because I enjoy the idea of prophecy. I love it in books and movies. I'm mixed on it again in a D&D campaign because for me, it's almost kind of like a struggle between, okay, is this really my choice, or is it kind of I have to go and follow this prophecy and fulfill it?
Yeah. I mean, in the end, you have a choice of choosing to follow it or not. So,
It's a choice.
yes,
Is it?
Yeah, it
It
is.
is. It is.
I have
You
given
could-
you guys prophecies.
Yeah.
And how many times have you followed those?
Like
Zero.
Only one of them
maybe
we
for
did.
like a minute.
It's your conscious choice. And the consequences of that will happen, or will they? You don't know.
I don't
Like-
even remember the prophecy, so
There was
Oh,
one
yes,
about
I
King
do.
Santino.
I
Yep.
remember it, but I died, so not important
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. It's almost like you have half of the prophecy, though.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
On Strider's
It's-
body.
Yeah, it's slowly just eating my
We-
soul, probably.
We used to have all of it, but oh well.
You'll never know what happened with King
Oops.
Santino.
Oh,
I'm
no way.
choosing to believe that Rowan took care of it for us.
Soul of
You
King
learn.
Santino.
Actually, that's another thing. We can talk about what happened last session and after. They don't need to. We can catch you up after. No, I think.
Dude, being in hell again kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Don't, I'm scared.
I like a dynamic in a prophecy, and obviously I've said this, but where people do not believe in the prophecy, so therefore there is the tension within the party and within the world of just like, no, this doesn't exist, and that stuff. And I feel like a lot of times prophecies are delivered or driven through deity or some divine source. So they go hand in hand in that aspect, and it's just kind of like. They're both powerful tools to just completely keep a party together or completely F them up. And this is what I'm excited to talk about, is because I've done this a lot with our group when it comes to deities, when it's come to prophecies, where the deities aren't necessarily good people. Bast learned that the prophecy she was given necessarily wasn't true. And I say necessarily because she learned some stuff last session that kind of counteracts that. But do you think all gods need to be friendly, or what role can they play in the sense of, like, what happens if they're not good? What if they're wrong, they're killed, they're frauds? Or what happens if a prophecy is completely fabricated? How does a party deal with that? Or what do you guys think of that idea?
They get their powers taken away.
Ooh, cuffers.
Yeah, maybe don't just spill the beans on a secret that you had a DC 30 behind. I'm kidding.
There was reasoning behind it.
There was very good reasoning behind it. You also just said it to the wrong god.
But he was my god.
Yeah, Traug's not a good guy.
Well, I know
He's
that
definitely
now.
a fraud, wrong, and not great of a
Yeah.
god at all.
I know he killed me.
So let's pick your brain then, Haley, a little bit, and then we're gonna pick Kendall's brain because you guys are the clerics in the party.
Okay.
What are your initial thoughts of that, Haley, when Traug in a sense betrayed you as Lyria, your thoughts, but then also Haley, what were your, like, oh my gosh, like what were your thoughts?
I think Traug betraying her is kind of what led her to the distrust of Mistra and not wanting to necessarily work for her without almost having like a contract, I guess. Like a spoken
Yeah,
contract of some sort. As Haley, I thought it was funny. I liked it.
Did you just, or like you weren't expecting it? You're just like, oh shoot, I didn't mean to
No.
do that.
Yeah, I was like, well, I guess I don't have powers anymore. I'm sure I'll figure it out later.
Imagine if I just never gave you powers back.
I really thought I was going to have to change my class.
Brandon's
I was like,
Really?
I guess I'll just be a fighter.
Yeah, you gotta be a fighter now. L.
Yeah.
I
Hey, I like fighters. It's
know
not an
you
L
do.
for me.
Fighters are just better rangers.
Ouch.
Face.
They are.
Rangers are just fighters with roleplay potential. How little it is, but more roleplay potential. That's what I'm finding.
Then the Tasha's Cauldron makes them a lot better, but
Yes.
2014 handbook and 2024 handbook, they're not.
Sucks.
2024 is better because it's basically just Tasha's. Anyway,
It is.
I think it's when it was completely improv when Traug took away your powers, because I had to think for a second, okay, this is not necessary. I kind of always had plans for Traug not to be a good god. He was the god of war, god of battles. And when you chose Traug, I guess it wasn't originally, but like once I decided to be like, okay, the gods aren't necessarily good people. They have this secret that they've kept that no one like can know. They're keeping it. They've locked it away, destroyed the memory of it all. How would a god react to that if their secret was shared? And I was like, okay, they're not going to like that their own cleric now knows this. And they're going to be like, no, you can't know that. How do you know that? I need to silence you. Because that's yeah.
The reasoning I had behind Lyria sharing that information is because she was an orphan, and the only like father figure like authority she had ever known was Traug. So if he had actually paid attention to his clerics, he would have known. She would have followed whatever he said.
Traug's not smart.
I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But the distrust in God started at that moment, and now she's going to start thinking for herself. But if he didn't take away her powers, she would have never gone against him.
Mm-hmm. I would be curious if I played that differently, how that would have affected the campaign. You know.
I guess we'll never know.
And then Ken, I'm gonna shoot to you about prophecy now, because we had the distrust of gods, and then Kendall. And again, if anyone else has questions, please interrupt me or thoughts. Kendall, you had in your backstory this whole basic prophecy of the Telfeather of Eternus.
Mm.
And then I was like, haha, funny moment, doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
What was going through your mind as Bast? I think we've probably talked about this before, but I want to do it in the context of this prophecy one. And what was going through your mind as Bast and your mind as Kendall? This was like 3 years ago, so I hope you remember.
I can answer at first as Kendall.
Mm-hmm.
What was going through my mind was like, what the heck? This was gonna be so cool. But
she's like, you stupid bum.
Yeah, I wanted to go find treasure. This is dumb. We were gonna find treasure. Anyway, that's what happened with Kendall. Yeah. With Bast, it was a point where she was like, her worldview was shattered. It was very like a huge turning point for her, and in her mind, she was probably thinking like, "This isn't true. What else is? You know, how many lies have I believed? Is my entire life a lie? Why am I even here? Did I just make the biggest mistake of my life?" Sort of, you know.
So now let's jump ahead to last session, where you were talking to Saloon, and Saloon told you that Cleotha always referred to you as Eternus.
Yeah.
Her first phoenix.
Yeah.
Fun fact, that's what happened, Haley.
Yeah.
How has that again changed Bast and Kendall's worldview?
Kendall was, dang, that's good. I'm proud of Brayden. That's good. That was a good twist. And then
Thank you.
Bast,
I'm proud of it too.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. Then Bast was, I think I just portrayed what was happening in her head. She was with Saloon, and she was trying to keep her cool, but I know for a fact her face was betraying her. But she was just like, oh, interesting. And then she was like, well, I'm gonna go now. And then she calmly walks away, but then as soon as she's out of Saloon, you just hear just running, and then just started yelling for Farron, needing every book on Eternus ever, right? Because I think for her, she's been in this state of just hopelessness, grief, a little bit of self-hatred, isolation.
Pissed off at the gods.
Yeah, pissed off at the gods.
And pissed off at your own god because you learned that because originally we talked about this, that like Cleotha, you were like, Cleotha lied to me.
Mhm.
I'm not okay with that. And I was over here like, did she necessarily lie to you, or did she just tell you a little bit of the not truth to get you to go,
Mhm.
get you to grow?
Did she feed me what I could digest
Yeah.
at the moment? Yeah.
Instead of saying, I need you to grow up, she was like, hey, you are naive. I can feed you this prophecy to help you grow up, kind of deal.
Yeah, I need
And
you
that's
to
when she experienced alcoholism.
grow up. No,
And she
all
grew up
been
and became an
there.
alcoholic, and she's like, ah, shoot.
Mhm. The
And then-
only the only way I can describe it is what was going through her mind is through my own religious experience, which I don't want to get into too much because that could be uncomfortable for some people.
Mhm.
But just when you're reading scriptures and you finally understand a verse where you never understood, and your whole mind is expanded and there's so many, the possibilities feel endless and you feel endless. You feel like there's nothing that could stop you. So I think it was just that feeling again that she had before of faith. That's the word, just faith, right? Her faith has been reignited, and she has a glimmer of hope again because like what you said, not everything was a lie. And so now she wants to consume all she can, like all the information she can, just to make sure she gets it right.
I like that. I do. And I think I like Cleo. When you came up with Cleotha, when you chose Cleotha, that means, because the difference is Haley's like, oh, if there's no gods, I don't have to think about them. For me, it's like I create a god, but if no one chooses them, I don't have to worry about them. It's like in the end, like that's what it is. So when you chose Cleotha, I was like, okay, she's like the goddess of freedom, atonement, in a sense, progression. So I was like, she's probably more benevolent god. And then I was like, let's kill her because that's funny too. But being able to be like, okay, like we can kind of move Bast on a path similar to that. She learned her own path of atonement and all that.
Yeah.
I have this vision in my head of, because I mean, I have a whole ideal story that comes up where like I play as your characters and all that, or like if Bast ever becomes a god, she's like, oh, and you don't have to do this. Do whatever. I'm like, oh, she becomes not the goddess of atonement or freedom, but the goddess of hope.
Yeah, I like that.
Because and obviously do whatever the fetch you want, but in my mind, it's like that's a real big thing that Bast is learning is hope. She lost hope, but she's always been full of hope.
I think
so
she's gonna.
Yeah,
I think she's gonna become the goddess of chainsaws.
That works perfect. And then she invents some crazy thing called Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, and then maybe some Maltese puppies.
The god of chainsaws and Maltese puppies.
Yeah.
In that order.
Yes.
Yes. And whenever you see a chainsaw, you see Bast within it, the spirit of Bast. I want to, last question before we need to begin wrapping up. I want to shoot at Sam and Hunter as people who are playing characters who don't have deity. Maybe they worship deity, but there is no direct link like a cleric or a warlock. When these things are happening, when you're watching Bast or Lyria go through their stuff and or they share with you in character, one, do you feel a little annoyed and maybe left out? And two, how do you guys as players and as your characters react to that?
Backpack Boy thinks you're all crazy.
Backpack Boy's getting to learn he's a child of Traug.
Guys, I sent to kill Lyria.
That
No,
would be such a
Straxion
twist.
was already there to do that.
He did a great job, didn't he?
Yeah, he was just Saloon
Saloon
Sweat.
Sweat. I'm
The sweat
a
of the moon.
tier. I'm immune to
No,
I'm
no
on
sweat. She was working out
here.
one day, fell into the ground, got on some moss, and then you grew. It's sweat.
She sweats blood.
Yep.
Backpack boy is red.
For me, at least, as Hunter, I love watching it happen. I don't really feel left out. I find the interactions just so cool, and they bring so much more depth to the characters in our party and our world. Strider, I don't think he cares that much. He doesn't feel like he owes the gods anything. He doesn't really care that much for them. Like,
Mhm.
I don't feel like, at least the way I roleplay him and the way I kind of get into his headspace is he doesn't want to mess around with them because he's kind of come to realize these are very powerful beings. If I piss them off, they can just smite me with a flick of their hand. I'm gone. The only time I feel like he has not cared about that is when he found out when we were in the Corsair Valley and found out about the giants killed his people and was like, all right, screw it. Asmodeus, get down here. You're helping me out.
Asmodeus.
Asmodeus like deal or no deal, and then you open a
Yeah, that-
briefcase.
Yep. And inside was a dollar.
Asmodeus is Howie Mandel.
Yeah,
Oh,
Howie
no.
Mandel is Asmodeus. Oh my gosh.
Is that's the host of Deal or No Deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Needed to make sure.
Goodness.
Haven't seen it in a long time.
No, that's interesting. I appreciate you guys sharing that as well. Again, I only really have a DM's perspective of gods. I think if we do our next campaign after this one in Kerrigan, I actually don't think. I think the gods will play a role, obviously, but I don't think I'm going to go overall path of, oh, you're dealing completely with gods, because I think I read a meme once and it's like, or read something once where it's just like, your D&D campaigns don't have to be universe ending. Like it's almost just as intense if someone is just trying to take over a region.
I do feel like that is kind of a big stereotype in most D&D campaigns is the story will progress and then it just kind of be like, oh, this big calamity happened all these years ago and now these gods are back and they're going to try it again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate it, but it's just kind of like it's the same thing a lot.
I'm trying to go ahead, Kendall.
Sorry, I was just about to say we still feel tension and urgency in the right?
Yeah.
And what
In
they're
the what you
losing.
broke up for me. Up for me.
Cut out.
The
like,
Goonies.
Literally right when you said
Goonies?
The Goonies.
Goonies.
What?
No, listen, no, like the stake. The universe isn't going to end in the Goonies. They're going to lose their homes because they're going to put a country club where their houses are. So they need to find money so they can stay where they live. Right? It's a different stakes, but we still feel the urgency.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Screw you. That was a good example.
No, it was a good example. It literally just cut out the moment like you said the Goonies. It was like
The Goonies.
we don't feel the sense of urgency and then like we were like I said yeah because
Yeah.
sometimes I can't hear it but Craig will pick it up. But I was like, I need to know what you're talking about. So I will say to what Hunter's point is that with Bahamut, I'm trying not to make him this, oh, he failed at one thing and then and I'm not say you're accusing me of that. Because I do understand that trope. And I don't like, I think that's kind of a lame trope. Because in the end, like, if the world gets destroyed, what happens to the people who are trying to destroy it? They probably just die as well. Like, if you're over here just like, oh, I am this person, I'm going to blow up the world. You're on the world, buddy.
That's why Thanos
You're gone
was
too.
a good villain. That's why Thanos was a good villain.
Everything pre-Endgame.
Yeah, everything pre-Endgame.
And I'm saying, like, I think Endgame, the Thanos they fought in Endgame, I felt like personally did not have as much weight as the Thanos they fought every other time. Because it was just like, oh, by the way, I'm from a different universe. I can get the stones here instead of looking for them.
Actually, he's from the same universe, just an earlier time.
Which is stupid.
Nerd.
Haley, we're on a D&D
Anyway.
podcast.
We host a D&D podcast. We're geeks. Technically, we are geeks. Yeah, I think, is there any final comments before we wrap up? I think that was a good discussion. I actually really enjoyed that because it's something I think about a lot. So thank you guys for having that discussion. And if you guys, again, 2 comments I want you guys to put down below in the YouTube and the Spotify. Comments help us out a ton, okay? Your first one is if you want us to do like general recaps of our campaign, let us know. Second, what are your guys' opinion on gods and deities in your worlds? Because I would love to know that. We'll probably do some poll down below in Spotify, but in the YouTube comments in Spotify, answer those 2 questions. Whether you want us to do recaps and how are your opinions on deities in campaigns. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out to the podcast, to the tavern. That's what we're called. We're not packers, we're tavern keepers, okay? We appreciate you guys a ton. If you're not following us on Spotify or wherever you're listening to the podcast, make sure to hit that button. Give us 5 stars, leave a review, whatever it is for your respective platform. Helps us out a ton. If you're not following us on social media, why not? We're on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We're on YouTube now. We're officially on YouTube, even though we haven't posted a video thing, and that's my fault because I had audio issues with the last one. So you can follow us on that, Beyond the Tavern Wall on each of those respectively. And then if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always comment on our YouTube video, send us a direct message on Instagram or TikTok, or you can email us directly at beyondthetavernwall@gmail.com. And as always, besides commenting, sharing, all that stuff, which helps us out a lot to get into the algorithms and all that stuff, truly the best way to share the podcast is by word of mouth. Going to your group chats with your friends, D&D groups, friends, family, whoever it may be, and sharing it with them helps us out a ton. So, as always, we like to give a little side quest to help you guys out with that. And the woman with the exclamation point above her head today, which I'm going to put that in the video. You're going to have an exclamation point above your head, Kendall.
Oh.
If I remember to do that. Let's be honest, probably not going to happen because I'll forget.
Slowly
Kendall
fades into existence.
What side quest? And it's gonna just text underneath this that says he remembered, and it'll be me talking third person.
Can you just have like the words exclamation point, but have an exclamation point at the end of them?
I will, and it'll be yes. Kendall, you have the exclamation point. What side quest are you sending the adventurers on today?
We are going to share the podcast with somebody who knows who their Percy Jackson godly.
You cut out.
Godly parent.
Did I?
Yeah, you gotta keep the mic close.
You gotta eat that sucker.
Okay, not that close. You gotta be like 6, like within 3 to 6 inches.
Okay, the side quest today. You are going to share the podcast with somebody who knows what their Percy Jackson godly parent is. Mine is Apollo, as you can tell from the voice. Haley! I knew we were related.
What's the Percy Jackson equivalent of a squib?
A squib?
Yeah.
Unclaimed.
Yeah, you unclaimed.
No, but they still have like demigod powers
that they don't love.
You go to Hermes' cabin.
Isn't it
You go to
basically
Hermes'
like
cabin.
Are the Hermes kids the squibs of the Percy Jackson universe?
We need to wrap this up, but isn't it like their godly powers show, but a god just hasn't claimed them yet?
Yeah, or
That's
they're so vague that you can't tie it to a certain god.
Okay.
Like somebody, like an example I think was used was they're just really lucky.
That's obviously Zeus.
No,
He got lucky a lot.
Man, if they were lucky, they would know who their dad or mom is.
Podcast. Goodbye.
Thank you guys for coming out to the tavern. We will see you. Oh, make sure to share that with someone who knows their Percy Jackson. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.